The Bitcoin halving is only days away, and for all of us lucky enough to be in the market before that particular event happens, we have unprecedented access to some of this industry's greatest altcoins at prices they will never see until the next bear market. So what I want you to do is glue yourself in, because here are 5 altcoins I deem as going to likely explode on or immediately after the 2024 Bitcoin halving. Now, these are all altcoins I have already purchased or want to buy more of. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking to make multi-millions out of this cycle with only about $100,000 or $200,000. So I'm planning to get those high multiples. So I'm not picking altcoins here, but a half-assed crappy projects. I want to let you all know that if you are someone who decides to follow me, I of course have your best interest in heart, because I talk about what I like and therefore what I believe is going to succeed based on over 10,000 hours of research in crypto, which leads me to what I'm going to be basing a lot of the reasons why I've picked these altcoins today, which is because these altcoins fit into that exact structure. The 10,000 hours that I've put into researching this market, you can throw away all that extra BS metrics and all the really deep granular stuff about the technology that you typically think you'll have to go into for crypto, but it's not. Because this market is run strictly and only by degens. It is run by people that just throw their money into a project because the project website sounds cool. And you can raise your hand right now if you are someone who, even now, as an experienced crypto person, FOMOs into projects because you just like what it sounds like what it looks like. And that plays into these 5 rules that I've taught time and time again. Narrative, meme, popularity, supply, and team. These aren't as important. Arguably, popularity is the third most important, but by far narrative and meme are the most important. And if analyzed correctly, which I'm not going to go into on this video, I'll leave an 1.5 hour video I've made publicly and completely free for you all on my channel in the description. But it'll look something like this. We can break down every single chart out there and we can come to the same conclusion. If you research, most importantly, the first 3, particularly these 2, you will find that it always leads to the exact same place, which is this method. By following this method, what it shows us and means is that when money flows into crypto, the first place money tends to land is whatever the hot narrative of the moment is. For example, it could be layer 1s, it could be DPIN, it could be ZKPs, and then from that point, the money flows into whatever altcoin in that particular area or narrative is the most appealing, and we call this the meme. This is why I like to focus on these 2 the most. And so today, we are focusing on the highest ranking narratives in this entire space, which are mostly going to be the 10 out of 10 ranking narratives. This will allow you to pretty much pick altcoins where most of the money will flow into, hence of course why I'm looking to take advantage of these myself. And that lands me on the first project today, and we'll go in order from highest market cap right down to micro cap, which is Flare. Now I've covered Flare, and I'll leave the links down below to all of these if I have made their own dedicated video. But I've made a video on Flare, got a lot of views recently, and that's for good reason. I think a lot of people are excited about Flare. It is a new Web3 Layer 1 project. It's actually looking to embed many different really bullish aspects and narratives into the Layer 1 that we just don't see other projects doing, okay? And I'll explain this in a second here. So Flare's idea is to connect everything, right? It's the blockchain for data is kind of like their motto, providing developers with secure, decentralized access to high-integrity data from other chains and the internet. And this is going to blow your mind. If you don't know what Flare is, I'm just going to explain to you how this works, and it's just going to be like an aha moment for you. Most of the Layer 1 projects, right, again, we can name names here, right, Near Protocol, Solana, HBAR, they rely on developers to build dApps on their protocol for things like oracles and interoperability plays, right? So that's like of Chainlink and also Wormhole. This is to do things like, you know, connect and pull in data and bridges and all that sort of stuff, right? But of course, with that comes some inherent problems. It's not decentralized, even though, of course, you can make them somewhat decentralized. They can still be fast, but they can also be altered, right? They can be manipulated, and it's ultimately an extra attack vector, which opens up room for error. Well, what Flare does is it actually bakes in oracles and bridges basically all into the very base itself, which means they take full advantage of a secure Web3 Layer 1 rather than a dApp. So inbuilt oracles and interoperability. It's honestly so amazing if you look into it, and they do this with 2 different things. 1, the Flare Time Series Oracle, and 2, their State Connector. Now again, I've made a video on this. This actually screen you're looking at here was a snapshot from that video, and I go into both of these 2 aspects, as well as the 2 other protocols that are built into the Layer 1 itself, which complement particularly the state connector. So the FTSO, or the Flare Time Series Oracle, pulls in things like digital asset prices, financial prices. So you can basically think of it a little bit like Chainlink, where the state connector does things like interoperate with many different blockchain and Web3 products, even connecting to the internet itself. So this is quite big, of course, and you can imagine if developers take full advantage of this, which, mind you, Flare is completely built on top of the EVM, it's just going to be amazing for the growth of Web3 and particularly the growth of Flare itself. Now, the project's only 1.4 billion market cap, so we're talking about a very, very low project here. Again, very new. I think that, this is going to look absolutely insane if you give this another 6 more months max of time to grow and establish itself. What they recently announced here was something mind-bending. They are now moving into AI as well. They created something called the consensus learning, or CL mechanism or protocol. Essentially is a way in which AI models can be built completely in a blockchain format, completely run in a decentralized way, okay? So consensus learning enables collaborative AI across a spectrum of applications, enabling the development of more accurate and robust AI models. In contrast to most existing implementations of AI and blockchain, so this is most, you could say, AI projects in blockchain and in crypto, which enable access to centralized machine learning through the blockchain. CL leverages blockchain to create the decentralized AI models. So building AI completely embedded within the blockchain itself. Now, we know when this all begins to mature, it's going to really blow the price of Flare up. And how I know this is because recently, a couple of days ago on April 3rd, these guys upgraded their FTSO, or their First Time Series Oracle, to V2. V2 brought along a lot more data feeds, right? Moving from 18 different price feeds to 50 now, and with the ability to scale up to 1,000. Keep in mind that would be up there with the likes of Chainlink, which is great. It's looking to be a lot faster as well. V2 comes along with 2 different ways to update these feeds, either 90 seconds or in every single block. So whoever uses these data feeds can basically decide on whatever they want. And this is the reason why, if we zoom into the 7-day chart, most projects are about anywhere between 10 to 30% down on the 7-day, whereas Flare is actually up 13%. So we know that the market will react extremely well to any positive news, which all falls back into the popularity score of my research method, basically indicating if there is an event that happens in the future for the project, it's going to react, and that's what we can bank on for Flare. So overall, this project I see going to 40 or 50 billion. That might be a bit of a long shot, but I definitely think on the high side, it could go there. Next up is one of my all-time favorites, and that's Pyth. I own a lot of these tokens. You guys have heard me talk about it quite a lot, and I actually have a full dedicated video just like Flare on my channel. I will leave the link again down below. If you are interested in looking into this, and I would highly suggest you do that, that is where you want to go immediately after watching this video. Now, Pyth is a brand new oracle to the market. It actually came out, I believe, like late last year. Yeah, November last year. And these guys are, I believe, a direct competitor to Chainlink. And they're really the only guys, I think, that have the capabilities to get anywhere near Chainlink. If we have a look at the total value secured in all of the top oracles, you'll find that Chainlink is up at $24 billion in TVS. These guys are over here at about $5 billion, so a lot lower, of course. But if we have a look in a second here, they're actually more accessible to a lot more blockchains. Chainlink has about, give or take, 15 or 20, whereas Pyth has about 55. So it's only a matter of time, I believe, until these networks begin, using Pyth more for these price feeds. And there is a reason why they will want to use them over something like Chainlink. Now, one of those such reason is the very premise on why, Pyth is an interesting oracle in the first place. They use a pull-based mechanism rather than a push-based oracle mechanism. Pretty much it just means developers can choose to pull on data rather than having it sent to them in periods of time, which means it can be a lot cheaper for them to run applications, okay? And they can pick and choose what they want. Also, Pyth does offer a lot more price feeds than the likes of Chainlink, okay? So it does offer a lot more different pairs and different tokens. So obviously that is a big bonus so far, and we'll look at some of the stats in just a second here. So basically, instead of pushing prices on chain, like Chainlink, like other push-based oracles, Pyth net price feeds allow users to pull prices on chain only when they are needed. Now, again, a big part of why you want to invest in a project that has a lot of appeal, like the memetics, is when it comes to a degen or someone looking to buy a certain project. Let's say oracles begin to pop off and everyone's talking about what oracles to buy. They come to the oracle page on CoinMarketCap. The first 3 projects they will see that are a stretch above the rest are obviously Chainlink. Oh, wow, this project's at a 10 billion market cap. It's too expensive for me. What's the next one? Bitensa. Oh, okay, look at a Bitensa. This one looks cool. Oh, but it's mainly based on AI. Okay, What's the third one? Pyth. And I believe based on that very, waterfall flow model that a lot of people will follow into Pyth. Now, again, this isn't some sort of pseudoscience. This is all based off psychology. This is all based on what people do. Go back if you are someone experienced and think about what you used to do when you first got into crypto. The big blow-off top moments, these massive moments of just nothing but green candles happen from people doing exactly this. And of course, the reasons that I've just mentioned to you are why I'm really bullish on Pyth. Not to mention, of course, if you have a look at just how fast the network's growing, they have all of this available for you to pick and prod at. They've been active since 2021 on the back end. It is insane. This is their ecosystem. You can have a look at how much total value is secured on both layer 1 and layer 2 protocols. Now, of course, they are competing with Chainlink, but on some of these newer networks like Injective, they have like 99% of all total value secured. And if you just scroll into some of these screenshots, it's very evident. All of these charts are growing at either linear or exponential rate, which is kind of incredible. Have a look at this. So all I have to say is, guys, Pyth is a project that is growing extremely fast. And I think if you have a look at the daily active interactions on this project, which is roughly 1.7 million, and then look at the market cap of the project being just over 1 billion, like what's that, 1.2? I think the multiples here to be made are going to be massive. And again, it wouldn't surprise me if Pyth goes to 10 to 15, maybe even $20 this bull run. A lot of people are scared about the vesting schedule. I've disproven that a lot on this channel, so I'm not going to go into it in this particular video. Project number 3 is AOS. Now, I think the upside for AOS is insane just because of one word and one word only: meme. The meme on this coin, right? This aspect, I've destroyed this chart here, but this aspect right here is like next level for AOS. And I'm going to show you why it's pumped up so much in this bull run so far, going from 2 cents to 83 cents. Some of these multiples already are just insane. But again, I think the upside here is ever more. Well, people tend to forget about these new projects that have already pumped, and why I've had criticism in the past of buying the likes of Render or Celestia or Fetch or AGIX once they've already, 3, 4, or 5x'd. Most people tend to forget that, only a very select amount of people end up buying the project at their lows, okay? Think about how small the market caps are at those sizes. You have to remember most of the market get in on the other side, on the top side, basically, okay? Not to say you should buy at all-time highs. Again, if we zoom into the 1 month mark here, it's pretty much been moving sideways for about 20 days-ish. So you should always wait for a retracement, but nevertheless, you should keep this in the back of your mind, okay? AOS has a really great website and a really great meme at that. It's doing 4 different really big things, ticks massive boxes. First of all, AI, storage, streaming, and DPIN, alrighty? But if we have a look at what the website used to look like, this was a review I did back on August 6, 2021, where I broke down what it was back then. And back then, it was a layer 1 blockchain based on CDN, or Content Delivery Network, which was pretty much just streaming, okay? And again, they've kept that streaming, but they've moved into the bigger narratives for the bull run. And you will find any good project in crypto tends to move into whatever the hottest narratives are for the bull run. Check your favorite project. I guarantee you your favorite project already has or is going to come out with some sort of AI-related upgrade, okay? AOS did this upgrade a while back, right? Their roadmap refreshed in Q4 of 2023. I say a while back. Crypto years, it's like 20 years. Regular time, it's like 4 months. So they updated their website pretty much back from what it was over here, essentially, to this, hitting these new narratives on the head. And guess what that did? Guess what a simple refresh of the website into pivoting into what they're doing now did for the price? Well, again, it just went astronomical. It went from that 2 cent mark and pushed up 10x. Then from that 10x, it's obviously helped it create higher lows and now get to the point we are in time right now. Now, this all works based on a 2-way system. So the AOS blockchain is EVM and Cosmos related. It's built atop of the Cosmos network. Leveraging what's called IBC basically allows any of these Cosmos-based networks to connect to one another, therefore connecting to whatever they're connected to, kind of, and also EVM via a bridge as well. And then it's connected to the AOS decentralized content delivery network over here, which spawns 4 main use cases. First of all, the AOS Web3 storage, AOS Web3 IPFS, which basically is just faster storage, and then the AOS Web3 stream and AOS Web3 AI. And you can have a look on this page here if you just come to the docs and the introduction. Have a look and basically read through some of this, right? All you have to really do is read through the cliff notes. I really suggest if you guys are interested in some of these projects, do the minimum amount of work. However, I do want to touch more on their AI today because that is where most of the demand, I believe, will come in. AI is going to be massive in this bull run, guys. Number one narrative by far, okay? So with AO's Web3 AI models are executed locally on user devices through AO's nodes, ensuring data privacy, enhanced performance, and a new level of user-centric AI experiences. That's kind of just like your basic, check us out, we're doing AI, pretty cool. But this is where it gets interesting, right? So AO's Web3 AI goes even further by facilitating decentralized AI model training capabilities, hosting an expansive marketplace for AI models and data sets, and providing dedicated spaces for crafting sophisticated AI-powered decentralized applications. So what they're saying is they're doing everything for the AI. You can run AI apps, you can train your AI models, hell, you can even have a marketplace there and, swap around data sets. So it's doing a lot more than just what AI is. And if even half of this comes true, it's obviously going to help push the price, which is why, again, we can look towards the roadmap and know for a fact that AOS is very reactive. The community is there for these new updates to come out. So that's, of course, why I'm looking at it now in terms of a possible investment, a possible play, right? Because if we know something will pop off for a particular event based on just a website refresh, what happens when they come out with their, AO's Web3 AI V1, which is going to be huge in Q2 of this year, which is basically a few months away here, or their AO's Web3 streaming service, or also move their Web3 AI to V2, where they're going to incorporate their marketplace and allow decentralized dataset monetization. These things are still coming, and we know it's going to react really well. So just think about this for AOs and your own projects. I mean, if the roadmap has had a somewhat basic, or even if it is a sizable upgrade recently that has pushed the price up quite a lot, like Flare, like AOS, you can only imagine when the market flips and people start ushering in because of these events. I mean, this is how we can have this massive, pumps. And that all falls back again into popularity, which was my third step over here. Now we're going from about a 1 billion market cap project right down to the micro cap level with Synesis 1, which is my fourth pick today. Synesis 1 is a blend between AI and gaming. So if you pick this up, right, like I am going to myself, I ended up buying at around 13 cents or 14 cents. And then the market, I had that gut feeling. I knew something wasn't right. I knew the market was likely going to be having a further pullback before we started moving up. And I tend to notice my gut has a pretty good idea of what's actually coming around the corner, believe it or not. So I sold out. It was a small position of maybe a couple $1,000, and now I'm waiting to get back in around the bottom here. And I do think now is a great time for an entry because, again, we're talking about a $40 million market cap. The same can be said, looking at it down here at about 13 cents, thinking to yourself, well, I could have roughly 7x if I just bought it down here. I'm not going to buy up here. Well, keep in mind, if the market cap even shows, it doesn't even show. Back then was, hundreds of thousands of dollars for the market cap. So not everyone got in down here. There is still a lot of room for the upside. The chart looks kind of crazy now, but if you were to plot in what happens next, I mean, this would look like this down here. So intersection of AI and gaming, which is great for those of us who want to be exposed to two of the most powerful narratives. I deem AI number 1, gaming number 3, or in some order of that. So I think that if you look at this coin as a micro cap, you have to have the risk on for it. It might really fit well into your portfolio, right? One coin hitting 2 very powerful narratives. So I want to take your attention first of all and look at the partners and investors. These guys have like 5 S-tier investors, like the cream of the crop, which is pretty well impossible to find in any small cap coin these days, right? Kinetic, S-tier investor. Shima is about a B-tier investor, but definitely one worth mentioning as well. D1 S-tier, Solana Foundation, probably an A-tier, LD Capital S-tier, GBIC A195, and NGC, all S-tiers. So they're there, right? You got to ask yourself, why are they buying this coin for? What's about this coin that they like? And again, I believe it's because of those 2 very powerful narratives. What Synesis 1 is doing is basically taking this play-to-earn model to the extreme. It's basically train to earn. So what you potentially do is click Start on Browser, and you go into once you hold an NFT, by the way, you have to hold one of their Canon NFTs. You're allowed to train AI data sets. So a third-party, developer or a third-party company comes in and wants to train their AI model. They'll come in here and, give up a bunch of capital in SNS1 tokens, and it'll allow people like you and I with these Canon, NFTs to come on and train the data set based on questions that are pre-prompted in, and it'll help that data set be, as accurate as possible. We get a clip back of SNS tokens, again, so train to earn. And it's not just that, they also have games built onto this as well, which you can play to actually train these AI data sets. You can have fun, you can train, and you can earn. So it's all built into the one across those two areas. And the reason why they say they exist is basically because a lot of these centralized companies pick and choose what they want to feed the AI LLMs. And that, of course, comes with inherent risks because depending on what you feed it, the outcome will be different. If you train it to say 2 + 2 is 5, it will say 2 + 2 is 5. Hence why, of course, crowdsourcing crypto, which I think is one of the best places to do this, is such a win in my opinion. So I suggest you will have a better look at SNS or Sunesis One for potentially, again, a micro-cap play. Project number 5 is GT Protocol. This is another AI project. However, unlike Sunesis One, it's actually half the size, right? It's a micro cap, basically. Now, there is about $16 million in trading volume in the last 24 hours alone. And if you guys know my channel, you know I tell you, don't look at the trading volume as an indication of how good something is. This will always increase at times of volatility and decrease when there's not much buzz around the project or narratives. So it's not a great indication for all that much, but it is good to see that there is a lot of money flowing around GTAI or, again, GT Protocol right now. Now, what is GT Protocol? Well, it's essentially a premier all-in-one AI app that allows you to connect and do anything, not just in crypto, but in the real world as well. I can pull up some of these charts here in a second. It allows you to even do things like basically buy, sell, and book holidays all through their retail partner network. Etsy, AliExpress, Amazon, eBay, Apple. I mean, you can go ahead and buy products on here again through the likes of Booking.com. You can go buy hotels and travel. I mean, you can do everything, right? Which is amazing. It's just all in one interface, kind of like ChatGPT, but all run on a decentralized interface. You can do things like swap through SushiSwap, Uniswap, PancakeSwap. You can buy NFTs through OpenSea and Rarible. You can connect to CeFi applications as well. So you can really do a lot here. And the great thing is it's actually being used right now. They've generated $927,000 in revenue being a small project in the bear market, okay? So it's kind of incredible. And what they're trying to do here is not just make crypto more accessible to the masses, but you can see here, make non-crypto people, use this for buying things online. You can't do this with ChatGPT and stuff like that. And I get it. It definitely is like a really nuanced, sensationalized product, right? Like this sounds amazing, but does it actually work? Well, again, this number right here should tell you that it actually works. They have a lot of people already using this product. And again, we're just buying into the idea of the project here. We're not buying into a working product. Well, it is working, but that's not the main premise behind why I buy altcoins for the bull run. You can have a look at many projects. Now, I'm not going to throw shade here at this particular coin, but I will mention it. Casper with a K. A lot of you guys love it, and that's for good reason. I respect it. I'm not going to crap on the project, but it's a layer one that's just an idea at the moment. And the same can be said for many projects out there as well. There's no inherent use case for the project. There's no applications for it. It isn't embedded within any external services, whereas GT Protocol actually is. But yeah, we still pull back to the idea, and the idea is cool enough for me, right? Look at this example over here. A customer might say, hey, Jetty, I'm thinking about investing some of my money in Ethereum. The AI consultant can say, well, here's Ethereum's price. It's risen over, this much over this amount of time. Okay, can you buy some for me and sort of take profit level? And it can go ahead and do that. So overall, check out GT Protocol. It's one that I'm personally looking at for one of my micro cap investments, as well as Sunesis One. Now, I wanted to throw a quick addition into this list. So this is obviously a top 5 video, but I wanted to talk about Toshi. Now, I made a meme coin video somewhat recently, and the one before that I made a few weeks ago, I also spoke about Toshi as well. But I really do think that I kind of wanted to add it in the very end for all you meme coin lovers, because, again, while I've spoken about it, I think Toshi would be the only meme coin, or one of the only meme coins I would look to buy. And yes, there definitely is an inherent benefit to buy meme coins. If I zoom out and have a look and show you guys the top narratives in this bull run, I've ranked meme a 9. And as a person recently commented, really meme coins should be ranked a 10. So I will look to make that move momentarily. So there's going to be a lot of money and demand coming into meme coins. Hence why I think having maybe a possible play in a meme coin that actually has genuine upside, that isn't purely a meme coin, well, I think landing on Toshi is a no-brainer. 200 million market cap. So of course, one of the higher meme coins, I must admit. But again, some of these meme coins have so much explosive potential. I mean, it's a no-brainer, okay? And you'll notice that, yes, meme coins and one of my core fundamental research methods, memetics, they are the same thing. And that actually works with the same sort of premise. Meme coins are about the idea, how cool it is, so on. That's where the idea of a meme comes from, right? So yes, Toshi's name comes from the the name of Brian Armstrong, the founder of Coinbase and Base, the layer 2 on Ethereum, Cat, okay, also is a play on Satoshi as well. But these guys have a lot of utility that I don't think many people really take with a lot of weight, which I think you should, right? They have a lot of things here designed to help developers bring on their projects into the market, which I get it, right? Doesn't have a direct impact to us. But if developers start using Toshi to actually build, whether it's meme coins or actually genuine applications, who really cares? That is a very bullish sign. I think it's a matter of time before this comes. As you can see, a lot of these are coming soon. So I think when this actually begins to be utilized, it might be quite bullish. They have their own NFT collection as well. You guys know how I feel about NFTs, but of course there's only 3,000. So there is that immediate scarcity for these coins as well. And the last time I spoke about Toshi, they only had 26,000 on-chain holders, let alone the ones that probably hold this thing on centralized exchanges. And it's recently doubled. So in about 3 weeks or so, it has doubled to now 46,000 holders. And the transfers have doubled, almost double and a half as well. So there's a lot of good things to say about Toshi. Again, we're not buying at derp cheap lows down here. I would probably wait for a retracement. I mean, every situation you could think of in crypto should always be applied to don't buy on the highs, buy on the dips. But of course, given the fact that we are in a bit of a dip right now, keep your eyes glued. And, meme coins might be a little bonus that you might want to think about as gamble money, if you will. So guys, with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. And if you have, drop me a like down below and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.